Cute little Coda, huh? You're just so cute. Hey guys, I'm so excited that you're here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I groom my doodles. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy watching me groom a doodle. So the first thing that I start with is grooming the feet. I start with the feet because when you're blow drying them, all the water kind of drips down their body and their feet are really hard to dry. So I always clear out the feet pad or the paw pads before I even bathe them because it makes it easier for me. And I'm using a size 40 on my clippers. I have Andy's blades and my clippers are Andy's. I can link them down below. And I just use this to get all the hair out in between the paw pads because there can be mats that develop in these paw pads and can cause problems and cause irritation to the puppy's feet. So you want to make sure that you get this all cleaned up because you don't want mats in between their feet. So as you can see, I'm just taking my blade, going a couple different ways. You want to be super careful. And I always just clean it out and go through the paw pads a couple times to make sure I get everything very clean. And you can also go on the very back of that big paw pad about a quarter of an inch to half an inch to get that hair off the back as well. So just continue to do all of the feet. Like I said, I do this before the bath so that it saves time with blow drying. The next thing that I do is the sanitary. So sanitary, you're going to shave that little booty hole and all the sanitary parts of the dog. So that includes the little booty hole and the prized possessions under the belly, because you just want to make sure that when your dog goes potty, they don't pee on themselves. Because one, it will stink, and two, it's not very sanitary. That's why they call it a sanitary trim. So I'm just going to touch it up one more time. And I'm using a size 10 blade for this. I always use a size 10 for my sanitary. And I'm going to show you what it looks like under the belly. So there's a little freeze frame right there to show you. And for females, I just do the first two little nipples that they have. I just go a little bit before that. And with male dogs, I go a little bit in front of their prized possessions so they don't pee on themselves, and that's it. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my size 30 blade on my clippers, and I'm going to use my steel guard comb. I prefer the steel because they last longer, they stand better to the hair, and this is a size 5/8, and this is my favorite doodle size to do because it's not super short, but it's short enough that you can maintain it and you can go in between groomings without getting a bunch of mats. And I go with the muscles of the dog. So here's the main muscles that the dog has. When you're grooming, you really want to accentuate those muscles because those are the natural way the skin and the dog moves. So with grooming, you want to make sure that you follow those muscles. So here's the first groom right here. And as you can see, I'm following that center muscle over the rib cage. And there you go. The other thing is you always want to go, that's reverse, where you go against the hair, and you always want to go with the hair. Some blades like this will go reverse, but I will let you know if I go reverse. Most of the time, I go just forward with the hair because when you go reverse, you actually take off more hair than what the blade length really is. So make sure not to go reverse, to go with the hair. So here we go, going in a little fast motion here. This is just showing you to go with the muscles. Along the back, there's not really, it's a combination of all the muscles, so I just go straight down when it comes to right on top of their spine. And as you can see, I'm just going over the leg, going with those muscles. And you always want to be careful when you get down to the knees and all where all those joints are and ligaments that are easy to cut with your clippers. So I always move those out of the way. And then also the tail. You don't want to clip the tail off, so I lift that up and make sure that tail gets groomed really nicely. And with some dogs, I'll take about a half an inch off the top of the tail to an inch so that it's easier and it prevents matting on the tail as well. So for the belly, I'm just going to go straight down the belly to make sure all that's done. And then I always go a little bit reverse towards where the sanitary ends to kind of blend that out. So here I'm going to show you the legs. So I'm taking that same guard comb and just going down the legs and by the bum to make sure it's all evened out. And you want to be super careful when you're going right here because there's a lot of skin that you can catch. And here I am rolling that skin. It makes it easier when you roll the skin in some circumstances so that you don't catch any of the skin that you don't want to and cut them. Once again, just going with the muscles and making sure it all looks good. This right here is just a rough cut. I put my dogs in a rough cut before I bathe because that's less hair that I have to blow dry. It can be harder on your clippers, but that's what I tend to do. Okay, so now we're for the neck. The neck is a lot of muscles, and you just really want to follow the neck of the dog. And you want to be super careful because you've got the breastplate and like their bones up there. So I'm going to be super careful about that. Here I am just touching up a little bit on her body. I like to hold my dogs. I'm holding her very gently, just holding her head up because they like to snuggle by you. So I'm just marking out where I want to stop grooming her with my guard comb and where her face is going to be, her wonderful doodle face. And so you're going to feel there's two bones, two kind of points almost on the back of their head, and that's where your teddy bear head starts, and you're going to go from behind that and go down, and that's what you're going to take off with your guard comb that's the size of the body. Just go down with the body. So you can put that doodle head in a little bit of a rough cut. And I'm giving Coda lots of love because she's doing awesome. Okay, now for the bath. So the way I bath my dogs is I use a groomer strength shampoo. I can link it down below. You can get the one that I use on Amazon. And since it is groomer strength, you need to dilute it a little bit. So first we're going to rinse the dog and then pour the shampoo on them. Like I said, I'll link it down below and make sure to dilute it. The majority of groomer strength shampoos you need to dilute because they come very, very concentrated. You don't need to. Don't forget those anal glands. If you don't know what anal glands are, I'll put a link down below what anal glands are. And basically what they are is that they are little sacs by the bum hole. And they have fluid back there that is being flushed out of the dog's system. Sometimes they're used for scents and different things and like scent markings. And normally when a dog goes to the bathroom, number 2, when a dog goes poop, they normally express themselves. But dogs that tend to need grooming have a harder time expressing those themselves. I don't know why. That's just a trend that I've seen as a groomer. That's my own personal opinion. But whenever I groom a dog, I always take care of those. And here you can see I'm blow drying Coda, and I use a high velocity dryer. And I can link the one down below. I used Flying Pig. That's been my favorite. And then now I'm just going over Coda with the same guard comb, the 5/8, just touching up everything to give her that soft velvety coat, which I love. Like I said, this is one of my favorite lengths to go in a doodle because it's short enough that they don't need to get groomed and stain them out. And if you miss a couple days of them brushing, you will make it. You'll be fine. Okay, so now to the feet. I scissor all of the feet in. you can take a guard comb down here with doodles with fluffier feet. You can do that and it makes it easier to scissor them in and create that round foot. But as you can see here, I'm just fluffing up that fur, that hair, and just getting all of that off to make sure that that foot looks nice and round. Because I try my best to get all of the crazy long hairs that my guard combs didn't get, or they just need to be touched up. And the other thing is you want to make sure to trim your dog's nails. So as you can see here, I'm trimming my dog's nails. And as I slowly trim, you'll be able to see a black dot. You can kind of see one right there, and that's how you know when to stop. So once again, the black dot, then you stop. So just take a little bit off and see how it's still white. So I could probably go one more time on that one. So we'll do one more little one and black dot. So I'll be done with that one. Once again, take a little bit off of this one. Let's see. I'll show you a couple different ones. Take a little bit off until you see that black dot. And this is just clipping. You can also Dremel your dog's nails, and they are really, I love Dremeling my dog's nails. It makes them smooth so they're not sharp. So one thing that I kind of go on is with the dog's nail, there comes a point where it kind of curves. And normally the quick is right behind that. That is not the case with every dog. Some dogs have really large quicks, but that's just kind of a rule of thumb that I've looked at a dog. And with dogs with white nails, the quick is super easy to see. And by the way, this is one of our previous puppies, Pigpen, from our last litter. This is no longer Coda. I didn't get this shot with Coda, so I had Pigpen coming over, so I thought I'd just snag it. So here I am trimming Coda's nails. Coda loves to sit down when we're grooming, or when I'm grooming her, and I'm okay with that when it comes to doing certain things, so I let her sit down as much as possible. So at the front legs, I'm just trimming at the front legs as well with my scissors. These scissors that I'm using are my groomer ones. I have found the Good Pup, or now Pupwell. That is a grooming kit. They are currently sold out, unfortunately. They do have some shear kits, which I love, and I prefer them over my grooming shears. And I hands down recommend them, so I will put a link down in the description below for them, and snag those before they sell out as well. Once again, I love them more than my professional shears that I'm using in this video. So just thought I'd let you know. And it's perfect for at-home grooming. And she also, Julia, includes a bunch of grooming videos in her, like, instructional videos when you purchase the shears as well. So that's something that you can watch and you can look at, and is really awesome to have, especially if you have one doodle or two doodles. It's worth the money, and it will save you lots of time, and it will help you take better care of your doodle. Okay, so I'm still touching that up. As you can see, I use my scissors to touch up a little spot on the shoulder. I just noticed that. So then with my guard comb, I did it on the 5/8 on the body. For the face, I always do about 2 sizes bigger, sometimes 3. It really depends on how shaggy you want your teddy bear face to look. I like mine 2 because I don't want them too shaggy. But you can do up to 3 if you want, or you can just scissor in the head. It's completely up to you. And I'm going to show you how I do them in fast mode. Speedy Gonzalez mode, as I like to call it, on Penny. She's our other dog in a guarding home, and she is a sheepdoodle, and I love her. So as you can see, I just brushed all that forward, and I'm just using my shears to cut that all off. I cut in her visor. So this, I am just trimming up her visor a little bit more, but as you can see, I've scissored in a portion of her, the top of her head, and I just kind of mess it around, make sure I get everything, and just bring in that doodle head really, really nicely. So if you were to use a guard comb, you would use your brush and you would separate the hair down the middle, and you would use that. I'm going to show you again kind of where it starts with the to the little bumps right there on their head. But if you're using a guard comb, you just take the guard comb and use it down the sides of her cheeks. And then for her beard right here, I am just using my scissors and bringing it in and making sure it's nice and tight. She's too worried about other things, so I'm just going to hold her head and do that. I just make it nice and evened up, and then I will look at the front and make sure that it's a round circle. And just keep taking off little by little. And as you can see here, making sure that's nice and round. Penny's like, I don't want to do this. I want my treats. I'm just going to keep doing that. Just touching it over and over. And then I'm going to take this section of hair from between the ears and her chin or her cheek, because that can get really fluffy. And I trim up her ears a little bit. And that's just so it will help protect with mats, because my doodles love to get mats right there. Okay, now back to Coda. I'm just finishing up that same exact spot on Coda. So on Coda, I used the guard comb. I didn't use my scissors. So as you can see, I'm just edging up her ears, taking that off. I've already done her beard and her mustache, same as I was doing with Penny. And then as far as their ears, I just trimmed them up a little bit. And here is the final product. Hey, look at me. Coda, look at me. Can you sit? Coda, sit. Oh, good girl. There's kind of the finished product. You look so good, huh? I could probably trim a little bit more on her head to even that out. And I'll probably do that in a little bit more by her eyes, but that's it. We hope you enjoyed this video today, and Coda says don't forget to like and subscribe for more dog content. And I hope you learned something from me about grooming. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.